This is the Bull Session, a weekly recap of your 2025 Philadelphia Phillies. Broadcasting live from Chickies and Pete's, tonight's show is brought to you by Team Toyota, BCWSA, Fogo de Show, Penn Community Bank, Chickies and Pete's, and the Capitol Grill Center City. Now, here are your hosts, Phillies Director of Fun and Games, John Brazer, and Mickey Morandini.
All right, welcome to the Bull Session presented by BCWSA, live from Chickies and Pete's at the Park Casino in Ben Salem, PA. I'm John Brazer, Director of Fun and Games, Fighting Phils, joined by my co-host, Mickey Morandini.
There it is.
And we have our guest today, the Murph, Greg Murphy. We have the comic of Fantasy Camp, this is Mickey Morandini, and we have the MC of Fantasy Camp. And we also had a bunch of fantasy campers here because there's an ongoing event here at, I think, at the Sports Book that Tommy Green, Larry Boa, John Kruk, and Ben Davis are all here, along with Brett Datto and some other people that we've had on the show.
Some firepower in the building, huh?
Some firepower. So, yes, they were all up there looking down on us, saying, what are you guys doing down here? So, right. And both of you guys had a good day today. You were on the golf course, not only on a golf course, but you were on a world-renowned PGA golf course.
What a place.
It felt like it.
Aronimink. Oh, my goodness.
Have you played before?
I have years and years ago. I played, a decade ago I played there, but it's spectacular. And we had a great day out there, so it was fun.
The good news about Aronimink is, at least for my game, is that if you spray it, right, you can bomb it, but when you spray it, it's a little forgiving. I mean, it's a long course, but you can get, if you're on the other fairway, you can get back on. Yeah. It's not narrow, you know what I mean, like you are at Marion sometimes.
Narrow and tree-lined,
right.
It is
but
not.
the roughs are rough.
Rough is rough.
The rough is very
believe
rough.
me, it's a hard course.
It is.
I mean,
hard.
obviously the PGA is going to be there next year.
And it's going to be long for those boys.
And the cool thing, too, about you guys playing that course is that next, May? Next May, you're going to be watching that, and other tees are going to be back.
They're going to be hitting them a little further than us.
Right.
Yeah.
But
they're going to shut the course down in November, and nobody can
play
in May.
Yeah.
Yeah, I even heard that, like Episcopal Academy, they're using that as like a satellite parking place because it's not far from there, and they've had to shut down. Like, I think school's shutting down for a couple weeks or something.
Golf is way more important than school.
Exactly right. Exactly right. All right, fellas, so I just saw something interesting. We're sitting here, we're going to talk a lot about the Phillies. We're going to talk about a lot about the playoffs. Murph, we'll get into your career. But I just found something, maybe it makes sense, and Mickey, you made it make sense. But the current odds to win the 2025 World Series right now, we're in a casino, right? Phillies are plus 450. Mariners and Dodgers are tied at plus 550. Blue Jays are plus 650. Yankees are plus 700. Brewers are plus 700. Do you remember the last time, when do you think the last time, and I don't know the answer, that the Phillies going into the playoffs, were the favorite, like odds favorite?
2011.
2011.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it's 2011.
Yeah.
Because certainly not 2008.
No, they weren't the favorites at that point.
Maybe 2000.
The last time has got to be 2011. You could make an argument maybe for 2024.
Right.
But I doubt it.
But
Not by the odds makers, no. Maybe 2023, but
probably Dodgers would have been.
yeah, I got to believe it's 2011.
Yeah.
The odds-on favorite to win it all.
All right, Murph, let's start because I do want to get big time into the current team. Obviously, you've been traveling with the team every game for the most part. So, but let's go back in the way back time machine because I actually got to know you probably like 25 years ago, right? When you were on CN8.
Yeah, you're getting old.
I know, I'm getting very old. But for those that don't know, you went to St. Joe's University, right? You grew up in South Jersey. You went to St. Joe's University, and your first gig was you were a TV sports reporter in Allentown?
Well, my very first gig, I was a on-air person selling sports memorabilia on TV. And then from there, I got to Allentown where I became an actual sportscaster. Yeah, that was my first real sportscaster.
Were you on the air when you're selling the memorabilia?
I was, yeah.
Okay, so that was your and did that on-air experience help you get the Allentown appearance?
For sure, yeah. I got to a lot of live. I was doing some QVC work, some Home Shopping Network, and I also hosted a show on Sports Channel across the country. And that was my first television experience. And then from there, I ended up in Allentown, yeah.
So this is something you've always wanted to do?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
All right. So then when I got to know you, you were on CN8.
Yep.
And you produced Lou Tilley's show.
That's right.
And then you filled in when Lou Tilley couldn't be there. And then you ended up taking over the show, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah. So Mick, he used to have his show where it was panelists. What was the show? Out of Bounds?
Well, originally it was called Sports Connection, and
Right.
that's where we had the Lou's Cannons.
Yes.
And then it morphed into Out of Bounds, yeah.
Right. So I'd go in there on Delaware Avenue. That's where the studio was. And you'd have on, I remember, Coach Talley, Andy Talley from Villanova.
Yeah.
You'd have,
You know who you used to have on all the time?
who's that?
Pete Cherokee from
that
Chickies
right?
and Pete's.
Yeah.
Well, he would come on.
And I met so many people through just being a guest on those shows. I'd sit in the green room, again, with Phil Martelli and Andy Talley and the head coach of Penn at the time, and Fran
Anybody
Dunphy.
that was almost anyone was on that show.
Did you ever have Mickey Morandini? Did you have Mickey Morandini on that show?
No, he was actually someone,
was
so
somebody.
he wouldn't come on. You had to be almost someone to be.
And it was an evening show, if I remember,
Yeah.
too, right?
Yeah, we were on originally at 11, live at 11 o'clock at night, and
Right.
then when Out of Bounds started, we were live at 7 o'clock. At
Who's
night.
watching TV at 11 o'clock at night?
Well, sadly, almost nobody, which is why we have Brazer on.
Nobody our age, right? And I was young back then. All right, so then you get a job with NBC Philadelphia.
Well,
back then it was Comcast
Sportsnet.
Sportsnet. Right.
I went over to there, was an anchor for them, and then NBC Sports came in. Yep.
And you were not the pre. Hold on, we're jumping ahead. You were the in-stadium reporter, right?
Yeah. Now you're jumping ahead.
I
You mean
did
for the
jump ahead.
Phillies?
What did I
Yeah.
forget?
Well, no, I was at NBC Sports Philadelphia as an
Yeah.
anchor in the studio for
Yeah.
years. I did Phillies pre and post for
Yeah.
many, many years with Ricky Bowe, and then in 2012 I made the move over to the Phillies,
Right.
and became the in-stadium reporter.
And that's where you got a kiss from Paula Abdul.
That is correct.
right.
You did?
Oh yeah.
You didn't know that?
I did not. How do I know you all these years and didn't know that?
Well, you
On
know.
the cheek?
You never saw the T-shirt I wear?
I didn't.
Do you have a T-shirt?
No, I do not.
You should get a T-shirt.
I should.
I got kissed by Paula Abdul.
Yeah.
Not sure if Krista would like
Did
that.
you have to get on
no,
a,
she'd be fine with
Did
it.
she have to get on a step stool to kiss your cheek?
She's tiny. So we were doing an interview in one of the suites during a Phillies broadcast, and we were finishing up the interview, and it really, the interview went great, and she was a lot of fun, and we had a good time. And just as we're finishing, and I'm sending it back to Tom McCarthy in the booth, I was saying, thanks, Paul, this was so much fun. And she just leaned over and planted one right on my face.
Nice.
Yeah.
What was she doing in Philadelphia?
She was part of the Father's Day prostate cancer awareness that Major League Baseball does.
Okay.
Her father, I think, had dealt with prostate cancer, so she was involved in that, and she was kind of like an ambassador.
right.
I was Scott Palmer had said Alyssa Milano used to have a clothing line. She still might have it through Major League Baseball.
Yep.
She's a big Dodgers fan, but through Major League Baseball, she had a clothing line that we sold in our team store. I think a lot of teams had that. And Scott Palmer said, "Hey John, do me a favor. I'm supposed to interview Alyssa Milano, but I can't do it. I've got something else. Can you interview her for this segment?" I'm like, "Sure."
Yeah.
Right. I
can do that.
think I can handle that one. But I didn't get a kiss on the cheek.
Well,
I guess I'm not as good looking.
it's I don't know about that. I think she just was in a really good mood.
All right. So speaking of other fun interviews back then, who were some of the more fun interviews that you did? And was there an awkward interview? Was there one that kind of went sideways?
Oh, there's Jonathan Papelbon, if you know that guy. But I mean,
Right.
you're talking about more celebrity types.
Well, let's go to the celebrities, and I want to get into the baseball end.
Most of the celebrities that come through and are at a ballpark and agree to do the interview, they're pretty great.
Did you have Morgan Freeman?
Yeah, I think we did. I think
Yeah.
I did Morgan Freeman. I'm trying to remember. Honestly, there's so many, and I'm terrible with celebrity
Right.
names and stuff like that. Jamie Foxx, I remember, was outstanding.
Sure, yeah.
Don Cheadle, we had. I interviewed him. That was up at Citi Field, but I interviewed him.
I'm sure you've had Miles Teller.
Miles Teller many, many times. He's tremendous. There was a couple of country music bands that came through.
Yeah.
Lady Antebellum, I remember. And
Riley Green, did you get him when he was he performed in the postgame?
I don't know. I did not get Riley Green. That was probably
Lady
after.
Antebellum, one of the ladies in that group was married to the catcher.
No, you're thinking of
Wrong group.
Wrong
huh?
group. But yes, we
Okay.
also had them. Yeah, they were married to
Dixie Chicks?
I could have sworn it was Lady Antebellum.
No, it wasn't. And I'll think of it in
Okay.
a minute. It was there was a sister and two brothers was the
Okay.
band,
Yeah.
and the sister was married to one of our former players.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, how about now? I know like one of the fun times was when you're down there on the field and you're interviewing post game, and you would get dumped with water, right? Never Gatorade. It was always water, right?
No, there was
some
Gatorade.
Gatorade
there
in
was some
there?
Gatorade involved.
All right,
at
so there's
times.
usually when you're down there, it's a celebratory interview. You're interviewing the guy at the walk-off, interviewing a guy through 7 innings and 2 hits, right? But I know sometimes you're just alluding to it. You had some contentious interviews. So who are some of your more fun ones? Where you got absolutely drenched, and then who are some of the more awkward ones?
I mean, you just think back to the guys who are, been in our organization that are just fun guys and great guys. I mean, guys like Rhys Hoskins, Shane, going back to Shane Victorino and Jimmy Rollins and Ryan, and all those guys were awesome. And
Raul Ibanez.
Raul was terrific. Hunter Pence, I remember just being a lot of fun to interview.
Brandon Marsh is great.
Brandon Marsh, the current guys are terrific. So. But, every once in a while you get a guy that comes through that is less than agreeable to some things. And Jonathan Papelbon was he was a flat-out pain in the back end.
Yeah.
And he and I had a come-to-Jesus moment at one point, and after that he was much better with me. But, he's just – it was a thing for him to kind of stare out into space and pretend he didn't hear the question and give one-word answers. And, and it was like, whatever.
Like Nick? Kind of like Nick?
Well, sometimes maybe. Sometimes maybe. Nick is actually quite verbose compared to Jonathan Papelbon.
Yeah.
Nick is he's a very thoughtful guy, and Nick is a guy that you need to ask him a good question. If you just ask him,
can't ask him a yes or no question.
You certainly can't do that. Although as a reporter in that scenario, you never should be asking yes or no questions. But you can't just ask him a question that he doesn't. If he doesn't think you're working hard, he's not going to work hard. And there's a part of me that really respects that out of Nick. When you ask him a good question, he almost always gives you a great answer.
Yeah, because some reporters will basically commentate, and then there's not really a question. It's more.
It's a different. There's a style of interview that I do quite often when you can get away with it, and it's more of a conversation, right? And a guy like Rhys Hoskins, who was outstanding, and after a game, and I'd be like, well, Rhys, what a game! You must be really seeing the ball well. And if I asked that question to Nick would say, yeah.
Or if you just said what a game, and Rhys would
it
say
was
unbelievable energy,
and they'd take it and run with it, and you just really have to know. Who you're interviewing. And there's nothing wrong with the way that Nick does it. You just have to be prepared.
Right.
And if you're interviewing Nick for the first time, that you might get caught. And you quickly have to adapt. But, we know Nick so well that our interviews with him now are great because it's more of a back and forth.
Now, you do a lot of pregame segments, obviously postgame. Pre-game, you'll interview a bunch of people on the radio, either in the booth or you record. But I imagine your favorite part of the pregame is the segment Batting Around with Brazer.
No doubt.
Right?
Yeah. There's this is where we self-promote.
I've heard a few of those.
Yeah.
Well, in fact,
I think you were a guest at one point, weren't you?
Not in Batting Around
You haven't
Brazer.
done
I never
Batting
got
Around?
asked.
Batting Around
wow.
Brazer?
I never got asked.
Is that right?
Well,
I'm
next
only
year,
with you every Monday.
We got to change that.
Yeah.
Because my big one this year was Murph. It was just 2 days ago.
I don't know. Were you listening? You were there the other day when Stock did the double first name, last name, same letter.
Yeah. Oh, I couldn't believe
my God.
you had just been in the booth.
I was just there in the booth talking to Kevin, and they did it the next inning, and he goes, second base, Weston Wilson.
Yeah. He was trying
in
to
my
name
car.
He was trying to name former big league ball players that
Phillies,
had
though.
the same, not even just
Well,
Phillies.
most of them.
Initials of first and last name?
With the same, and he
could
Right.
come up with his
And-
double
I only
play.
played with him for
his
6
double play
years.
partner.
he did not
He
mention
threw out
Mickey,
Weston
and then he was like. He was mortified when Mickey texted
I
him 5
texted
minutes
him.
later.
I'm sure you did.
I mean, you're like the original of that answer, right? It's like it kind of starts with you, and then you go from there. So
I guess you could start with Mickey Mantle, but
but not for Phillies. He
Right.
did put Mantle on the team.
Right.
You can't argue that.
no, you can't.
Murph, by the way, when you say this guy's name, do you go into Harry Callis or do you do it normally?
It depends. almost always.
Like
I
if you're
go
if you're in my role and you say,
Everybody does.
and tonight's
Mickey
co-host
Moore.
is my
Mickey
co-host tonight
Moore,
is
indeed.
right.
I do it. I
It's
do it
really
at
hard
fantasy
to
camp.
say my name without saying it.
If you grew up in this area, it is hard to say Mickey's name without channeling your
Mickey
inner Harry Callis.
Morandini,
There's no
right?
doubt. There's no doubt.
Did your parents ever? Did they like that? The way Harry did that? Because you were one of Harry's
yeah.
favorites.
Yeah, I think everybody did.
Of
I mean, the
course.
way he just drew it out, every
Right.
syllable. Was
If
pretty
Harry
awesome.
said your name, and Mickey has that great name, so when he said
Right.
it was awesome. But if Harry just said your name in general, and I
Right.
remember being a young reporter and in the studio and Harry saying, we're going to send it back to the studio to Greg Murphy. And I'm
Right,
like,
right.
oh, my
You're
God, he
right,
just
right.
said my name.
Right.
Oh, my God,
Totally
it's
right.
so great.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm good friends with Todd, as we all are. Todd Callis, his son. And I remember, here's a conversation with Harry back in the day, right? I'd be walking down the hallway. Harry'd be walking down the hallway. It's like, Brage, how's Brage? And I'd say, oh, Harry, great. And it always come to, evolve into Todd Cal. How's Todd doing? TK's doing great. He's with, and then all of a sudden he's kind of done the conversation. And when he's done the conversation, he starts humming to himself. He'd go, ba ba da ba da, and that was a cue.
That was your cue?
That was anyone's cue. Harry's done talking
We're
with
done.
you.
It's like at the Emmys when your speech is
Yeah,
over. They
right,
play
right,
the music, right?
Yeah,
Harry's like, cue the music. I'm done
Harry
with you.
had his own cue music. Dun, ba, da,
So
ba, da.
great.
Yeah.
On the way to Cape
On the
May.
game. Exactly. By the way, before we go to break, I got some really cool trivia question that I heard today. It said there's only been 2 center fielders since 1955 that have won the World Series MVP. Okay, only 2 center fielders. You mentioned Mickey Mantle, which kind of
I know who the other one is.
Well, Mickey Mantle's not even one of them because it was
Well, I know.
well
World Series MVP or just
World
a MVP
World
of
Series
this?
MVP.
Oh, okay.
World Series MVP. 2 center fielders. You're not going to get it. I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
Well, I'll give you the team and the year and see if you can get it because obviously we don't have that much time to think about it. 1973, the A's. It was
Center fielder
Billy
for the
North.
A's.
It's somebody you wouldn't think of was a center fielder,
Billy
Oh.
North.
but it was who was the best player on the A's?
Back
Re-
then.
Re-
Reggie Jackson?
Reggie Jackson
Yeah.
was a center fielder.
Oh, how about that?
Watch
Oh,
it
was
for
he?
the box scores that year. Then the other one is more recent. He's in the playoffs now. He won a World Series with a team that's not in the playoffs, and he's now in the American League in the AL East, center fielder. So you have-
Center fielder in
so
the AL.
it's not the Yankees because that's
yeah.
Giancarlo.
So who's the center fielder for the Red Sox nowadays?
It's
Or
not.
who's the center fielder for Toronto
Toronto.
nowadays?
It's Toronto.
Oh, it's he won it with Houston.
Yes.
Yeah.
George Springer.
Yeah,
Oh,
George Springer. Yeah.
But isn't that wild? Only two center fielders.
That is
so.
pretty. That's hard to believe.
All right, coming up in the show, Murph, we're going to get into the playoffs. We're going to talk about. We'll break down the American League first, and then we'll obviously get to the Phillies as well, who have the best odds so far. With our guest Greg Murphy, you're listening to the Bull Session presented by BCWSA. We're live from Chickies and Pete's at the Park Casino in Ben Salem, PA.
Hi, it's Pete from Chicky and Pete's, the official sports bar of your world champion Philadelphia Eagles. Go where the players go. Come join us all season for Eagles pep rallies, watch parties, and the best in-game experience anywhere. Ice cold draft beer, world famous food, and fan-friendly fun for every Eagles game. Every Monday night in South Philly, the Jordan Mailata Show, presented by Miller Lite, followed by Chicky and Pete's Players Lounge with a current player, hosted by Ike Reese and Hugh Douglas. Go where the players go. Chickies and Pete's.
Think banking hasn't changed? Think again. At Penn Community Bank, we've been helping communities thrive for 150 years. From our nationally recognized Access Checking that offers the peace of mind of no overdrafts, to student and free checking plus options with perks that will make you wonder what you did without them, like early direct deposit, overdraft grace, and Zelle. Learn more at PennCommunityBank.com/products. Penn Community Bank. Here we grow. Account and feature terms, restrictions, and conditions apply. Ask for full details. Member FDIC.
A flawless occasion begins at the Capitol Grill. From the moment you step into the Capitol Grill, located in the heart of Center City, the experience is one of comfortable elegance. Whether you're looking to host a private affair, a perfect lunch stop, or dinner destination, start your occasion at the Capitol Grill today. Visit thecapitolgrill.com or call 215-545-9588. That's 215-545-9588 for the Capitol Grill, Center City.
If you're looking for a stylish and sophisticated fine dining experience, visit your Eddie V's Prime Seafood restaurant near King of Prussia. Eddie V's Seafood features an abundant selection of fine wines and curated cocktails to complement exquisite steaks and seafood made from the highest quality ingredients. In the V Lounge, sip on imaginative handcrafted cocktails with attitude while enjoying signature appetizers. Conveniently located between I-276 and I-76 near the King of Prussia Mall. Call them today, 610-337-7823 to schedule your night out for Eddie V's Prime Seafood.
Hey, BCWSA customers, this is Tommy Green from the 1993 National League champion Phillies. My friends at BCWSA are committed to providing us with safe, reliable water and sewer services. They operate state-of-the-art treatment facilities, provide clean drinking water, and make much-needed investments to protect our environment and ensure a sustainable future. Learn how BCWSA's investments help grow and serve our communities. Visit bcwsa.net. BCWSA, prove it.
We now return to Chickies and Pete's for the Bull Session. Once again, here are your hosts, Phillies Director of Fun and Games, John Brazer, and Mickey Morandini.
We are back to the Bull Session presented by BCWSA live from Chickies and Pete's at the Parks Casino, Ben Salem, PA. I'm John Brazer, joined by my co-host Mickey Morandini, along with our guest Craig Murphy. We got the great John. We had Brett. We had Mark Ambolino.
He looks athletic with his hat on backwards, doesn't he?
You think?
Yeah.
You think he could take you on a one-on-one right now?
Well, no.
Well, maybe.
No.
In hoops?
No,
you got
I'm
no
a terrible
chance.
hoops player.
And Murph, you did know that Mickey is the all-time scoring leader at his high school.
I did not know that.
To this day.
But I'm not surprised by that. Great athlete.
And they didn't even have the three-point line
They
back
did
then.
not. They put it in the year after I graduated.
Right?
Two-handed set shot?
No, jump shot.
So is it safe to say you were the best hoops player on the 93 team?
Ooh.
I would think I was up there, yeah.
Yeah?
Ben Rivera might have been able to block my shot, though.
He wasn't on the 93 team, though.
Yeah, he was.
Ben Rivera?
Rivera, the pitcher.
Oh,
Ben
sorry,
Rivera,
Rivera.
yeah.
I thought you said Ben Rivera.
No, he won't block my shot.
Yeah, well, L.A. probably played bat hoops.
Yeah. They all play. Come on. They're all
Yeah.
good athletes. But L.A. was a football player, right? He was a quarterback.
He was going to go to Oregon
Yeah.
and play football. All right, let's break down the playoffs. As I mentioned, fighting Phils are the best odds, which is crazy. Not crazy
not
because we knew
crazy.
that
Why is
second.
that crazy?
It's not, but I guess what I was trying to say, or meant to in my head, I was talking. You lose Zach Wheeler, right? And you lose, and you're still the number one.
Well, I know. You got the
seed.
second best record in
Right.
baseball,
And
and really a
Milwaukee.
game behind Milwaukee.
Right.
Yeah.
And, the home field advantage is a huge part of it.
I guess what I was, my brain was ahead of my mouth.
Which is often the case.
Which is often the case. What I went to say is, like, if you had told me back then, Philly fans, when Zach went down, that we would still have the best odds in the World Series.
Well,
it's almost like the Eagles
Well,
when Carson Wentz went down.
And I think the experience
then-
factor, too.
Right.
I mean, my God, this is the fourth year we've been in the playoffs.
And we're built. Again, let's start with the American League first, then we'll go National League. So the American League, you obviously have some pretty good. You got Cleveland, who's been on a tear, right? Versus Detroit. Now Detroit in a 3-game series has Skubal, right?
Who has stumbled to the
Who has
finish
stumbled
line.
a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And they got Mize, and then Cleveland is funny. Cleveland doesn't really. They're almost like the Reds. They got Quan, right? And they got Julio, right? But I don't even know. I couldn't even tell you their pitching staff because I think they had Bieber, but he got hurt, right?
I don't know if he's hurt or not, to be honest with you.
Well, so you got Cleveland, Detroit, and then the other wild card is the Yankees and
the
Red
Red Sox.
Sox, which baseball, gotta love that.
They're loving it. And the winner plays the Blue Jays, so it's an all-American League East side of the bracket, which is kind of cool.
Right.
I think Toronto's the best team in that division. I've thought that all year long, and I think they're going to come out of that side of it, personally.
Toronto, okay.
Yeah. I think they're the most complete team in the American League.
Yeah, I mean, the Yankees, obviously, they're top-heavy with Fried and Max Fried, and they've got Carlos Rodon.
Yeah.
Right, but they got, and who's going to show up? Is it the Judge who's shown up in the playoffs the last, X amount of years who hasn't performed well? What does Giancarlo Stanton do? What are some of the young guys that are on that team?
He was pretty good last year, Stanton, so.
Yep. And Toronto's got, now they've got Bichette. Is he done for the playoffs? Because I know he got hurt towards the end. All right, so Toronto, Mick, who are you going with out of the
Don't
American
count out
League?
Seattle.
And
They're
the big
playing
dump,
really
and
big baseball.
The big dumper, and they've got a great rotation.
I'm going Seattle.
All right. Yeah,
I want a new team in it.
I agree with you, but Toronto would be a new team
Well,
too.
that's true.
And
But they beat us in '93.
I know.
I
I don't want Toronto to win. I just think that Toronto has been the most complete team for the entire season. But you're right. I think Seattle is getting hot at the right time. Cleveland's obviously hot, but I'm not sure they're built for the postseason. So we'll see. But it would not shock me to see the top two seeds, Toronto and Seattle, get get through to the ALCS.
There are two teams in the playoffs that have never won a World Series, Seattle and the Padres. So it'll be interesting. All right, so the big dumper, I do like Seattle because I think the big dumper, and you got, Suarez at third base. You got the rotation of Gilbert. I mean, they've got a strong
they're good.
rotation right there, solid. All right, then we go to the National League because we are going to look at, we'll start with Milwaukee and Phillies have a bye. So you got the Reds and the Dodgers. Obviously, all three games are at L.A. It looks like they're going Yamamoto, Snell, or maybe it's Snell Yamamoto.
I think it's Snell.
Snell
first.
Yamamoto. And then if they don't have to pitch, if they don't have to play a game 3, they're going to Ohtani game 3, which would be pretty nice if they went to game 3.
It'd be good to go to 3 games for the Phils.
Because we didn't look so good against Ohtani.
Well, and let Mick speak to this, but I think there's some truth to the fact that they had never seen Shohei Ohtani before.
Sure.
They had never seen him
That's a
before.
tough
There were
one
only
to-
2 guys in our lineup I think had ever had any at-bats against them. They've seen him now.
Right.
So I don't necessarily think he comes out and throws 6, shutout innings, scoreless or hitless innings. Right, Mick? Because once you
that's
see
a
a
big part
guy,
of it.
you have a little bit more of a sense of what
Absolutely.
he's going to try and do.
And he's going to pitch 5 innings.
Right,
I
he
mean,
won't go long.
you're going to get into the bullpen with him, so.
But do the Reds. Now, the Reds are an interesting team.
They are.
They just, there was a stat this morning that was pretty crazy that Jason Stark put out there. Jason Stark said that the Reds are the first team in Major League Baseball history to have that make the playoffs and have no qualifying batter hit 270 or above. They had no batter hit 25 home runs. They had no pitcher that won 15 games, and they didn't have a pitcher that notched 200 strikeouts. It's the only time ever in a non-shortened season a team that had all those criteria and didn't make the playoffs.
What does that tell you about the Mets? Right? I mean, because the Reds tracked them down and overtook them. The Mets were just playing dreadful baseball. I mean, I would be shocked if the Reds give the Dodgers any kind of trouble. I think the Dodgers have a pretty
I'm going
easy.
to give a big but in honor of the big dumper.
Okay.
The big dumper.
Like that?
Yeah,
Big butt
I
instead of the big
got you,
dumper,
yeah.
right? If there's a team, right, that can do it with starting pitching, they've got Andrew Abbott, right, All-Star game. You've got Hunter Green, who on any given day can be extremely lights out. You've got Nick Lodolo, same thing, a crafty lefty.
Is he healthy?
He's got a little groin, but they said he's fine.
Okay.
And then even you have Chase Burns, who, same thing, is young, so he's not tested, but Chase Burns has the stuff to kind of dominate. So at least you're not going in with mediocre. I think if they played the Mets, I think they would thrash the Mets because the Mets aren't rolling anybody out.
And they have a manager that has a lot of postseason success.
Terry Francona.
Yeah.
I guarantee you he will not get outmanaged in that series.
No, you don't think?
No.
No, probably not.
Right.
I would agree with you there. That said, I don't think he has what Terry's done with that team is nothing short of remarkable. I think I mean they were left for dead in the middle of the summer, and they really kind of rallied when we saw them. Their pitching was hitting on all cylinders,
right.
and they were. And I remember sitting in the booth with Fransky and Kevin Stocker and. Watching them kind of carve up our lineup a little bit and saying, well, I wouldn't want to see these guys in October, right?
Right.
And then they kind of went, into the doldrums once again. But the Mets, I don't want to say handed them that spot because the Reds went out there and earned it. But the Mets certainly allowed the door to be kicked wide open, and the Reds, to their credit, kicked it down and walked on through. I just think the Dodgers are a different ilk.
If the Reds win that series, they're going to have to win low-scoring games.
Right.
Because they're not going to be able to outslug the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Right. Yep. Well, it would be really interesting to see, again, what we got to hope. As a fan, you just hope regardless that it goes 3. That Reds win at least one of the games, and then, whatever happens game 3, because then obviously if you're the Reds, you're probably starting Chase Burns game 1 against us. If you're the Dodgers, you're starting probably you could do a bunch of they've got a lot of, that young guy Sheehan, right?
Yeah.
You've got that Blake Trinan, right, still there. Glasnow, sorry. Trinan's in the bullpen. You have Glasnow probably would be the starter, my guess. Or maybe they throw out Clayton Kershaw.
I mean, again, and their bullpen's better. When we saw the Dodgers just a couple of weeks ago, we struggled against their starters, but then got into the bullpen, and that's where we did a lot of damage. Their bullpen's going to be better because
they're putting the starters
they're putting
in there.
a couple of those arms.
So
back there,
Sasaki would go into the bullpen, and it's funny, they spent just like the Mets. They got either at the trade deadline or even during the free agency period, they got fortifications in the bullpen, but like guys like Tanner Scott haven't really been lights out. A lot of their bullpen guy acquisitions have not panned out to what they thought it was going to be.
Yeah, it's been interesting watching what the trade deadline acquisitions around baseball have been able to. I mean, it is every year, I guess. The Phillies have missed a couple of years, but they did not miss this.
No,
They did not miss it.
I think if you're going to give reporting grades, for trade deadline acquisitions,
absolutely.
Duran was obviously a very sexy move, but Bader, I think Philly fans are like, other than the closer, what do we get? And I think Phillies get an A+ in that. And it's funny, like again on paper, Mets had, they fortified their bullpen. They got some other guys. They didn't get a starting pitcher, which is kind of surprising. But you'd have to give, based on their performance, like a D-, right?
Well, Helsley was just,
awful.
He started poorly, and it just spiraled out of control for him.
All their guys were, but Helsley was the child of that.
I mean, and he's really talented. He's really good. He's a guy that a
Phillies
lot of Phillies
at.
fans wanted to hear.
Right, because
I just think he got just devoured by New York once he started slowly and kind of spit out. Not unlike what happened to a couple of the guys that ended up in Philly over the last couple of years, right?
Yeah, it's not.
You start slow, and you draw the ire of the fan base. I don't
tough.
need to tell you, right?
Well, Max Kepler saw it a little bit today, and then obviously, now you look at the end of the season, he had 18 home runs in there.
Yeah,
right?
I give Max Kepler a lot of credit for the way he hung in there mentally and kind of he's a very introspective guy, and he's a guy that just really can separate the two things, and that's hard to do, especially in a city like Philly, where he was like, look, I'm okay. It's okay. All's going to be, he was able to kind of shield himself from it, and then he took off. So.
All right, coming up in the show, we will talk Phillies, the chances. We'll go through some of the potential lineups, talk about what they're going to do, possibly the fourth and fifth pitcher, who's going to make the roster, who won't make the roster. With our guest, Greg Murphy, you're listening to Bull Session, presented by BCWSA. We're live from Chicks and Pete's at the Park Casino in Bensalem, PA.
Hi, it's Pete from Chicky and Pete's. Do you have a large party of 10, 20, even 50 people? We can't wait to treat you like family at Chicky and Pete's. Forget about deposits or credit card reservations. Making a reservation for your large group is effortless at Chickies and Pete's. Lots of options to celebrate and make your night out unforgettable. Order off the menu or select from food and drink packages, private party rooms available. Make your reservations right now at chickiesandpete's.com. And don't forget, Chicky and Pete's gift cards are the perfect fit for any occasion. Only at Chickies and Pete's.
At Penn Community Bank, we're in the business of building thriving communities. That means breaking down the barriers to home ownership, supporting fair, affordable access to housing from Philadelphia to the Lehigh Valley, like our Home Opportunity Mortgage that empowers eligible borrowers with no minimum credit score, no down payment, access to grant programs, and so much more. Visit PennCommunityBank.com/home for more details. Penn Community Bank. Here we grow. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender. Account and feature terms, restrictions, and conditions apply.
A flawless occasion begins at the Capitol Grill. From the moment you step into the Capitol Grill, located in the heart of Center City, the experience is one of comfortable elegance. Whether you're looking to host a private affair, a perfect lunch stop, or dinner destination, start your occasion at the Capitol Grill today. Visit thecapitolgrill.com or call 215-545-9588. That's 215-545-9588 for the Capitol Grill, Center City.
If you're looking for a stylish and sophisticated fine dining experience, visit your Eddie V's Prime Seafood restaurant near King of Prussia. Eddie V's Seafood features an abundant selection of fine wines and curated cocktails to complement exquisite steaks and seafood made from the highest quality ingredients. In the V Lounge, sip on imaginative handcrafted cocktails with attitude while enjoying signature appetizers. Conveniently located between I-276 and I-76 near the King of Prussia Mall. Call them today, 610-337-7823 to schedule your night out for Eddie V's Prime Seafood.
Your day-to-day life is hectic between having to pick up the kids, make dinner, the countless other tasks that you got to get done. Rob's Automotive and Collision is there to make your life a whole lot easier. Make sure you take advantage of their spacious waiting rooms, the large flat-screen TVs, complimentary coffee and muffins, and free Wi-Fi. So even when you do have to stop, Rob's is there to make you feel right at home. Give Rob's a call today at 215-826-9200 for any of your auto repair needs.
We now return to Chickies and Pete's for the Bull Session. Once again, here are your hosts, Phillies Director of Fun and Games, John Brazer, and Mickey Morandini.
He said it normal, right?
Oh, he had a little emphasis on it.
A little bit?
A little bit.
All right, we're back to the Bull Session presented by BCWSA live from Chickies and Pete's at the Parks Casino in Ben Salem, PA. I'm John Brazer, joined by my co-host Mickey Morandini, and we're joined by Greg Murphy. Now, Murph, our producer over here, Chris Ermer, I'm going to put him on the bullseye right here. He said, I'm not sure if I really like the Friday Night Roundtable. I love the Friday Night Roundtable.
Wow.
And
Chris, that hurts.
Someone over here was kind of, he said, I'd rather listen to that than music. But right.
Well, we only claim to be slightly better than traffic, so
It is slightly better than traffic, so
that's
it's
all
right-
that's all we strive for.
I love it, and I'm wondering whether maybe I'm too close to it because when I come to the ballpark, usually I do pop in to the broadcast room about 3 hours before, and it's basically like you get your own version of the round table because Kruk will be on the couch asleep, and then LA's trying to fill out the scorebook, but everyone's coming in. Francis kind of wandering around with his coffee, right? Ben Davis and Ruben come in.
Yeah, you pretty much nailed it.
Taryn's doing her makeup, and T-Mac's kind of talking to somebody out in the hallway.
Yep.
Right? So, but you go.
Or himself,
or himself,
sometimes.
Right. But it's the conversation there is hilarious. I think it's especially when you guys have different guests that come in. Who's the one guy there who has is it from Colorado? You have somebody that comes in.
Yeah, Ryan Spielborgs has been on a couple of times.
He's very good.
Yeah.
You should have had you should have had Rex Hudler on when he was in with Kansas City.
Yeah,
right.
It's only a 20-minute show, so
right.
with Rex,
you might take over.
Yeah.
But,
no, Rex is awesome.
But for next year, if we do play, we don't play probably Kansas City.
Yeah, we play every year.
I know.
We go to Kansas City.
We go to Kansas City,
Yeah.
right? Well, in 2 years, make sure you get Rex on the.
Well, we could have him in Kansas City.
True.
Yeah.
Friday night.
Fridays happen all over the country.
Go anywhere.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, every week.
What has been your favorite Friday night roundtable?
Believe it or not, last year in Kansas City, on Kansas City they have the big first baseman Vinny Pasquantino.
Yes.
And they call him
Pasquatch,
right? So and when he gets to the plate, they have a Sasquatch that walks across the top of the ballpark. Just walks. He doesn't do anything else. They introduce him, and then there goes Sasquatch walking across, and he disappears. It's just like this funny thing, right?
Right.
And so, of course, on the Friday Night Roundtable, that gets brought up, and then we get into this really deep dive on whether or not Bigfoot is real. And God,
who is in the roundtable?
So that night it was Tom, myself, Stocker, and Scott.
All right, hold on there, Mick. I want you to guess. You remember, right? Guess who of that group thinks that there is a Sasquatch, and who
thinks there is, believes with every fiber of their being.
Which one of those guys believes
real?
with every fiber of their being that Sasquatch is real? Ooh. You got T-Mac, Fransky, Stock, and
me.
You.
Probably you.
No.
Oh.
All
right.
Okay.
Not you.
All right, so you're a doubter. You're not a believer.
Yeah.
Stock would be the other one.
No, I bet you Stock does believe.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what
Stock
you're saying?
does believe.
Stock, you don't believe.
Correct.
I bet you Stock does believe.
Uh-huh.
And who do we got? T-Mac and who?
Fransky.
Fransky's skeptical.
Uh-huh.
And T-Mac believes. Right?
No, you're partly right. I totally do not believe.
Do not believe.
All right. So Fransky is the guy that will be like, well, like he's that guy.
Right.
He doesn't believe, but
Right.
he's willing to play the other side
Right.
when poked. T-Mac doesn't believe, and Stocker will fight you to the death if you
Right.
deny the existence of Bigfoot.
Really?
Oh,
well, he is from out in
yeah,
Washington.
He said that he's got friends that have seen him and the whole thing, and
Friends
so
that
much so that we had so much fun on that particular show. I mean, I remember just laughing so hard and crying, and just because it was so
Right.
funny what was going back and forth.
Chris Irvin, did
And
you even not
come
like
on,
that
Chris.
episode? Did you like that episode? Trying to get home. Well, so it was better than traffic.
It was better than traffic.
All right,
That's
so
again.
then
That's
if,
our bar.
if these people were in the room, what do you think they would say? John Kruk, what do you think he would say?
He believes.
Oh, he's from West Virginia,
Yeah, he
right?
believes.
All right, how about Ben Davis?
He probably
He'd wanna
does
hunt
not
it.
believe.
No, he
Yeah,
wants to believe
he'd probably
it 'cause
want to.
he'd hunt it.
He'd want to. Yeah, he'd want to shoot it.
What
yeah.
about Larry Anderson?
Larry? We brought it up the other day when Larry was on, and Larry didn't dismiss it out of hand, but I don't think he's a true believer.
All right, last one, Ruben.
No, he does. He wouldn't.
Definitely
believe.
not believe, right.
No.
All right, all right, so let's.
But anyway, it was a fun one.
That's good.
Yeah.
For the record, I like the round table.
Well, thank you.
All right.
T-shirts are flying off the shelves, by the way.
I have one. I wear it all the time.
People love them.
All right, so let's talk about the Fightin' Phils. A couple questions, and Mick, you're in there too.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, if we play the Dodgers, I think if we play either team, it sounds like by Rob's
Decree
that we're gonna have the three lefties, right? I mean, well, definitely gets the Dodgers, don't you think? Because they've got Muncy, they got Ohtani, they got Freddie Freeman.
Yeah,
big hitters, left-hander.
I think basically it depends on who you play and the matchups. And to your point, yes, it would seem that the Dodgers you're better off throwing the lefties at that point. But I really don't think the decision's been made yet.
Right.
And I think Aaron made it a little bit of a tougher decision.
Hey, this is nothing against Aaron.
Yeah, no.
And
Aaron's cool.
Yeah.
Aaron obviously he just wants the ball whenever they're going to
Right.
give it to him, and that's the way Jesus and Ranger are as well. We
Yeah.
know Christopher's going to get the ball in game one, but I really think the rest of them are just like, let's just win. Who cares? Let's
Right.
just go out and do it.
Well, hopefully you only need two.
Yeah.
All right, so then the other question is, how many pitchers do you think they'll take in the 5-game series? And then obviously you have 26 men, right?
Yeah, I think they'll go with one less pitcher.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you have 14 position players, 12.
Yeah.
Now, what pitcher does Walker Buehler? Is it a competition of Walker Buehler and Taiwan, or are they both on the team? You think for that 5-game series?
I would think they're both on the roster.
Both on. So that might leave like a Lou Trevino.
Well, we can't. We got to remember Alvarez is not. So
Yeah.
Right.
You got to fill that spot.
Alvarado,
Alvarado.
He's not. Max Lazar was just optioned, so he
optioned.
can't be.
Right.
You have Trevino. Obviously, Tanner Banks is
Right.
going to be in there. Duran. I haven't done the math, but Trevino, Mesa, Kirkering's he's in. Strom. Yeah.
Robertson.
Again, so
yeah.
I haven't added them all up, but if
it-
there's one man out, then
It's probably Lou Trevino.
yeah, perhaps
Let's put it this way: if Walker is not on the roster, I feel really bad
Right.
for him because he's done a heck of a job.
Taiwan.
Well, then-
he's on. He's on.
And what a teammate he's been this year.
Tremendous.
And then when you go to let's say we advance and we go to a 7-game series. So do you think it still goes 14-12, or do
No.
you think it kind of bounce it out?
I think they go back to the
13-13.
13-13. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. In that case, again, depends on who you're. But then Nola would go in, and then do you think they kind of any sense of danger? Then Walker Buehler could be kind of there to piggyback potentially.
Yeah, potentially. I think they think that Walker Buehler might be a weapon later in games against right-handed hitters. That kind of pocket of the game where you need to get 3 right-handed hitters out. Maybe they deploy a Walker Buehler in a situation like that, or Taiwan for that matter,
Right.
in a situation like that. And Mickey obviously can speak to this better than I can, but the playoffs, it's just a different animal. You manage it different. You manage your players differently. You manage situations differently because there isn't that we got to worry about tomorrow kind of mentality. You got to worry about today
Right.
in the playoffs. So I think everything's on the table. And, we've seen that from Rob Thompson over the last couple of years, and we saw it from the Yankees when Rob was a part of that staff. I mean, you
Got to win.
you got to win.
Go to the
So
kitchen sink.
if you need to get that guy out, you just look around and say, I think he's the best option to get this guy out, so bring him in, and then you go from there. So.
All right, so if it's 14-12, 14 position players, that would mean, if I'm doing the math right, Otto Kemp and Weston Wilson would make the team.
Presumably, yeah.
But then if you even it out 13-13 when you're going to 7-game, someone might be the odd man out.
Yeah, so
Right?
I guess, again, I haven't sat there and added up the numbers, but yeah, I guess that they probably both can't be on the roster. Yeah.
Assuming everyone's
and
healthy.
look, maybe there's a scenario where they decide to go with just a Johan Rojas type.
Right.
That's just a guy that can run the bases
Just a pure
and play some
pinch
late inning
runner type.
defense. And, I honestly, I don't know. I'm sure all these conversations are being had by Dave and by Preston Mattingly and that whole group, and obviously Rob's a big part of that. But I don't think that they've made a decision because they don't know who they're playing.
Right.
And until you know who you're playing, it would not make any sense to make those decisions. So.
You mentioned one guy that I think has had one of the most underrated seasons on the team, Tanner Banks.
Yeah.
Tanner Banks, he's come into a lot of big situations, and he looks calm, right? And you've talked to him. He's a great talker, great guy. Comes in there calm and has gotten big outs in highly leveraged situations. And if you're going to talk about like an unsung guy in that team, it's that guy coming out of the bullpen. He's been there all year.
Yeah, I think someone asked me the other day, biggest surprise on the Phillies this year, and I think it's a runaway winner, Tanner Banks.
Right.
Because, whether or not we didn't expect enough out of him or whatever, the expectations for Tanner before this season, I think, were relatively low. And not only has he exceeded expectations, he has been as valuable of a member of that bullpen as anybody else out there.
Yeah.
And to your point,
I think Rob trusts him, seventh inning on. Just
once they lost Alvarado, they needed that. Matt Strom's been solid. He goes out and does his job, and for the most part, has success. But without Alvarado, that was it in terms of your lefty, high leverage lefty guys. And Tanner has just said, "Give me the ball, and I'm ready to go." And you're right. I mean, probably need two hands to count as the times that he came in big situations and put out the fire.
Remember there was a big situation. I forget who he played. It was bases loaded. I think no
twice.
out.
He did that twice.
Yes.
Bases loaded, nobody out, and he got out of it
in
twice.
A big situation.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to talk about, when we come back, let's talk about the lineup, because Rob Thompson was toying around with some lineups in September, and whether you think that might be the lineup we see. I know you don't know.
All right, yeah.
We're all speculating.
No. I can tell you what the lineup's going to be. I think I know what the lineup's going to be.
All right, well, let's get to that when we come back with our guest, Greg Murphy, Mickey Morandini. You're listening to the Bull Session, presented by BCWSA. We're live from Chickies and Pete's at the Parks Casino in Ben Salem, PA.
Hi, it's Pete from Chickie and Pete's, the official sports bar of your world champion Philadelphia Eagles. Go where the players go. Come join us all season for Eagles pep rallies, watch parties, and the best in-game experience anywhere. Ice-cold draft beer, world-famous food, and fan-friendly fun for every Eagles game. Every Monday night in South Philly, the Jordan Mailata Show, presented by Miller Lite, followed by Chickie and Pete's Players Lounge with a current player, hosted by Ike Reese and Hugh Douglas. Go where the players go. Chickies and Pete's.
Think banking hasn't changed? Think again. At Penn Community Bank, we've been helping communities thrive for 150 years. From our nationally recognized Access Checking that offers the peace of mind of no overdrafts, to student and free checking plus options with perks that will make you wonder what you did without them, like early direct deposit, overdraft grace, and Zelle. Learn more at PennCommunityBank.com/products. Penn Community Bank. Here we grow. Account and feature terms, restrictions, and conditions apply. Ask for full details. Member FDIC.
A flawless occasion begins at the Capitol Grill. From the moment you step into the Capitol Grill, located in the heart of Center City, the experience is one of comfortable elegance. Whether you're looking to host a private affair, a perfect lunch stop, or dinner destination, start your occasion at the Capitol Grill today. Visit thecapitolgrill.com or call 215-545-9588. That's 215-545-9588 for the Capitol Grill, Center City.
If you're looking for a stylish and sophisticated fine dining experience, visit your Eddie V's Prime Seafood restaurant near King of Prussia. Eddie V's Seafood features an abundant selection of fine wines and curated cocktails to complement exquisite steaks and seafood made from the highest quality ingredients. In the V Lounge, sip on imaginative handcrafted cocktails with attitude while enjoying signature appetizers. Conveniently located between I-276 and I-76 near the King of Prussia Mall. Call them today, 610-337-7823 to schedule your night out for Eddie V's Prime Seafood.
Energy costs are skyrocketing. Now is the time to upgrade your old heater and air conditioning systems to more efficient units to save on your utility bills. Harris Comfort can also handle all your propane needs, as well as providing sales and service on whole house generators. Harris Comfort is still family owned and has been serving our area for over 60 years, providing sales, service, installation, and peace of mind. Call 215-788-4596 or go to harriscomfort.com. Harris Comfort, still family and still local.
We now return to Chickies and Pete's for the Bull Session. Once again, here are your hosts, Phillies Director of Fun and Games, John Brazer, and Mickey Morandini.
All right, we're back to the Bull Session presented by BCWSA live from Chickies and Pete's at the Parks Casino in Ben Salem, PA. I'm John Brazer, joined by co-host Mickey Morandini here, along with our guest Greg Murphy. We even got John Fuhrer here, golfing legend, golfers to the stars.
In his own mind.
In his own mind, yep. By the way, you can hear the Bull Session on 1490 WBCB, 107.3 FM. You can also video stream the show on WBCBsports.com or on WBCB Sports YouTube page. So, all right, so we left off. Murphy, you had a sly grin when I asked this question because I think you know. But do you think, he was doing basically some platoons, and it was a pretty straight platoon. If you have a lefty, you've got Nick Castellanos in right field, you got Harrison Bader in center, and you got Marsh in left.
Yep.
And if you had a righty, you're going Brandon Marsh in right? Harrison Bader. No.
You're Kepler in right.
Kepler in right. I knew I was wrong there. Kepler right, Bader, and then Marsh playing left field. So you think that's the way it's going to be?
Absolutely. I think that's the way it's going to be. Yeah,
okay.
For sure. It's worked.
And
it's worked well. So
Sosa against lefty at second?
That's an interesting question. I think that they absolutely want to get Sosa some regular time. So, Bryson's been really good. He's actually been pretty good against lefties of late, and his defense is just outstanding. But so Sosa. I mean, Sosa's super solid out there. I don't think it'll be a straight platoon between those two guys. I think it'll depend on the lefty. If it's a nasty lefty, absolutely it's Sosa. If it's a little crafty lefty,
let's go reality. So the Reds lose in 2 games, and Ohtani's fresh. Ohtani's starting game 1 on next Saturday. Who is it? Is it Sosa then?
No, he's right here.
Yeah, he's right.
No, he's right here. What am I thinking of? Yeah. Right. Okay. Sorry. Let's say
now it might be Sosa.
Let's say it's Kershaw, because Kershaw's could be game 4, right? For them, if it goes 3 against the Reds and it's Kershaw game 4, are you putting Sosa in there?
I would. Yeah, I would think you'll see Sosa in that scenario. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think you don't lose a whole lot with Edmundo Sosa. So again, defensively, I think at second base defensively, Bryson Stott's he's tops, but Edmundo's pretty darn good no matter where you put him in the infield. And his bat, I mean, he has swung the bat so well down the stretch, and everywhere you put him, he's done a really good job. So I think that they look at him as like it's a 1A 1B kind of thing, as opposed to a backup kind of player.
All right. How about if we're facing a lefty starter, right? And then all of a sudden we have a lead going into the 8th inning. They're in their bullpen. Do you defensive substitute Nick Castellanos for Kepler?
Do I?
Do what?
It also
defensively?
No, you're saying
what
pull,
I'm saying,
pull
Castellanos. If Castellanos is starting against a
Oh.
lefty,
Yeah.
he's in the starting lineup, and it's now the 7th, 8th inning. You're protecting a lead. Are you pulling Castellanos? Now, we really didn't do that. We did
Wait,
it
are
once.
you asking, am I, or are you asking, it will Rob?
Will Rob.
Yes.
Doesn't matter what you think.
No, it doesn't matter what I think, quite frankly.
Will Rob, do that?
I would think so.
I think he will.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Look, I'll go back to this. You don't get tomorrow in the postseason.
Right.
You have to win that game.
Especially a 5-game series.
And there's not a person on planet Earth that watches baseball that's going to say that upgrading your defense late in the game, if the handedness of the pitcher changes and you can upgrade your defense and get a better matchup off it, it's the right move to do.
Right.
It's just what you should do. If you don't do it, that's probably a mistake. And I don't think any of the players in that clubhouse, including the right fielder, would complain about that. It's not. And it's not. It shouldn't be a thing, and I don't think it will be a thing.
Yeah, I mean, if you're an opposing team, right? We were just talking about the other teams in the National League and American League, but you look at that lineup, right? If you're trying to scout against our team and try to, you've got Schwarber in playoffs, dangerous. You got Harper, playoffs, dangerous, right? You got Turner if he's healthy, right?
He's healthy. Yeah.
And just won the national batting title, or the NL batting title. He's fast on the bases, right? And then you've got Bohm, who's playing really well right now. Real Muto's had a good close of the season. You had even the outfield where you had Marsh, obviously Bader.
Marsh has been one of their best hitters all season long. I mean, after May 15th or whatever the date was, I mean, he's hit like 315 since then.
Right. So, where do you, in the lineup, where do you put Bader? Is Bader your 6-hole hitter, your 7-hole hitter?
I think Bader is 6 and JT's 8.
JT's 8, Marsh or Kepler's 7.
Yeah, and Stott's 9.
Right.
Yeah. And I think that's one heck of a lineup.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, again, just the experience. I think, going into the playoffs, we have experience. We have the chip on our shoulder that we've fallen short last couple of years, right? Even though we're losing Wheeler, we have a rotation, and that could theoretically could be 5-6 deep if you obviously.
Well, you have options.
You have options, right?
Yeah.
And then defensively, that used to be, some of our teams in the past defensively weren't great, but you look at Turner's made a huge step up this year. Stott's one of the best second base defensive, I think, right? Would you say that as a second baseman?
Bader in center field has been an absolute joy to watch him play center field.
Right.
I mean, that guy, he gets jumps, as well as good a jump as I've seen from a center fielder in a long time.
Yeah,
a Philly center fielder.
He gets great reads, great jumps, and I love how he backs up. He does the fast back pedal.
Crab walk, we're calling it.
Crab walk.
We're calling it a crab walk.
Right.
Yeah.
My wife calls him Baby Dutch because he's got the the mullet.
Okay.
Right.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah,
All
Baby
right.
Dutch. So, all right, let's make your predictions here. I'll give you a couple questions to both of you guys. Who do you think in the first round, right? I'm assuming you guys are both saying the Dodgers are going to win, right?
Yes. I believe the Dodgers will win.
All right. Who do you think in the playoffs, when it's all said and done, who will be the unsung hero on the team? First one.
Phillies team?
Phillies. Who will be, let's say however far we go.
Unsung.
Who do you think will be the unsung? Who could be the one man, how about so-and-so in the playoffs?
I got one.
All right. What do you got?
No, I'll let Mick go first.
I'm going to go.
Let's say position player. Because then I want to go.
Right.
Then we'll go starting pitcher. Then we'll go bullpen. So the unsung.
Okay, unsung meaning kind of coming out of nowhere.
It's kind of sneaky guy that could in a 5-game series could be the MVP.
I'll go Marsh.
Okay, right, staying hot. All right.
That Marsh is a good one in that scenario. I will go.
I mean, Stott would be unsung.
I would go Bryson Stott.
Okay.
I'll go Bryson Stott.
All right. How about starting pitcher? Who that you think?
Unsung?
Well, they're all kind of,
Sung?
obviously Sanchez. They're all sung, right? But
I'm going to throw out Luzardo.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, he's had playoff experience against us when the Marlins played us when we played the Marlins game 1.
I'll say Aaron Nola.
I was going to say
Aaron Nola. Okay.
between them two.
I think Aaron Nola has a chance to do something kind of special and unexpected because of the season that he's had. But knowing the kind of competitor that he is and knowing that the moment will not be too big for him,
right.
I would not be shocked if he comes out and has a game, an important 6-7 innings of a crucial game and shut somebody down. That wouldn't surprise me at all.
Do you think it would benefit Aaron to pitch on the road?
Well,
just because he's had shaky first innings.
Yeah, the crowd doesn't generally get on Aaron, and
right.
And I don't think he gets bothered by it.
I think everyone gets bothered by it at some level.
Right.
But I don't think it would affect him so much. I don't know. I mean,
throwing it out
I
there.
actually think he pitches probably a little bit better at home.
All right, real quick, as we're about to wrap up, your bullpen guy that, again, looking back on it, say, wow, didn't he have a great, so key?
Duran. Duran is a game changer for us.
Mick?
I'll say Strom.
Okay.
I would love if Kirkering. He had the good outing
I'd love
last
for Kirkering.
couple weeks. Wouldn't that be
too.
great if Kirkering all of a sudden just goes back to the old Kirkering that we knew?
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right, well, that wraps up this week's Bull Session presented by BCWSA. I'd like to thank my co-host, Mickey Morandini. Our guest today, Greg Murphy. Back in the studio, Gus Barber. Our on-site engineer, Chris Ermer, even though he doesn't like Friday Night Roundtable. Thanks also to Pete Cherokee and the great staff here at Chickies and Pete's at Parks Casino for hosting us today. Our server, Kayla. We're going to be back next Monday at 12 noon. at Chickies and Pete's in South Philadelphia, back with Mickey Morandini. We don't know who our guest is yet because we're waiting to see who we're going to play and what time we're playing. That's going to affect things. But we will have an interesting guest.
I will be here.
And until then, have a great week. And as the late, great Harry the K says,
I hear.
You're listening to 1490 WBCB and on your FM dial at 107.